What is up, everyone? I am Chris Knight, and you are watching the Chaos. Or, no, I can't. I gotta get this right. You are watching Rule of 3. Hey, listen, Danny, you chirp over it too, man.
I do.
It's chaos, man. It's chaos.
I think I'm the only professional one on the panel, guys, but it's okay. Don't worry.
Come on.
I don't slip up.
So here's the deal, guys. I am Chris Knight, and you are currently watching this either on Chaos Central or the Real Review 3000. This is the Rule of 3, and I have the same people with me as always on the Rule of 3, Nzo and Danny of Comic Chat, or Nzo, I should say, of Biggaford Entertainment, and Danny of Comic Chat. I'm going to give them a second to talk about themselves and where you can find them, what they do, all that fun stuff. Well, let's start with you, Nzo. Go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
What's up, people? You guys already know you can find me on this channel with Chris and Danny, the Rule of 3. My channel is Biggaford Entertainment. We also got Danny tomorrow, who's doing the Chaos list. And then on Monday, Danny's doing Chaotic Conversation.
That's karma, man. Karma.
Oh, man. You know, whatever. Yeah, that's a Chaotic Conversation. And then tomorrow it's me, the Chaotic.
You're Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday, right. I'm thinking tomorrow's Tuesday, but yeah. Because you guys messed me up from the beginning, right? So once I got messed up from the beginning, yeah. So we got that. We also got Square One, which is on Saturdays with me, Danny, Mendizo. We had a couple of special guests on the show, so we'll probably do stuff like that. Catch us out on Rob's channel, Storms Live. We got Equilibrium coming on later on today at 5, so check that one out too. Terrence and Bald Man, John.
Bald Man Bad.
Whatever. Bald Man Bad, that's it. John will be on that show with us today, so check it out.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Okay. Hopefully it won't mess up this. Up next, Danny of Comic Chat. Danny, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where they can find you and all that fun stuff.
I am Danny of Comic Chats here on YouTube. If you see me, you probably see Nzo. It seems like we kind of join at the hip on all our shows, which is a good thing. We got several shows throughout the week, as he just named. Please, if you can't join us on all of them, at least join us on one of them. We're really trying to put a push behind Square One, which is on Saturdays. So if you get an opportunity, Saturdays from 4 to 6, please catch that. It's something a little different because we had about 4 shows talking about the same thing. You can only talk about Marvel, DC, sci-fi so much. So we're doing this something totally different, and we're trying to get different views and personalities on the show. So catch that Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Square One is all sports talk, mainly NBA and NFL. We're going to throw in a little UFC whenever that happens, boxing. It's just things flow. That's how we're going to try and flow and communicate and talk about it. So thank you for your support. Keep subbing. Keep hitting that notification bell. Keep giving us that thumbs up and likes, because we like to try to give you all good content.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Yeah, please, guys, go sub to these guys. The information for their channels are down below in the description box. Also, go sub to Chaos Central, that YouTube channel. We're trying to get that up to at least 100 subs to start before we exclusively go over there to I don't know, we might exclusively go over there to stream these, but right now we're simulcasting this, so this is over on Chaos Central's YouTube channel also. But let's talk about this. For anybody who is new to this show, basically this is a form of my weekly rumble where basically we have a wheel of topics. I'm gonna bring that up right now. The wheel of topics is right here. We have 9 topics, 3 topics technically for each person on the panel list, or on the panelist. But lately we've been pulling from old old topics, so we can kind of get some real good topics in here. And also what we get is 3 minutes each. 3 minutes each to talk about it. Then after those 3 minutes between each of us talking about the topic, we will spend 3 minutes to discuss the topic together, either hash out our differences or continue the conversation on that topic. Sometimes it can be rather interesting, but really simple. 3 topics, 3 panelists, 3 minutes. It's the Rule of 3. Gentlemen, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
I'm ready.
Wow, just jump in there, why don't you? Wow. All right, guys, here we go. We're going to spin and see what the first topic today is. Hey, Mads, how you doing?
Oh.
All right. This is one we have had on for a few weeks now, but we're going to get to it right now. Should Gone with the Wind. Oh, well, it'd help if I actually could type, I guess. Should Gone with the Wind be kept on HBO Max, even though they've added a disclaimer about several things, including, man, I can't spell today. Look at that. 2 D's and including, including the way it depicts slavery. Okay. So, yeah, I know, John. Sorry. I don't know why it did that, because on my thing here, it's spelled right. Interesting. Anyways. All right. So, should Gone with the Wind. Oh, why is it doing that? That's so weird, because it shows W on my thing here. I don't know. This is all sorts of screwed up. Oh, God. Anyways, should Gone with the Wind be kept on HBO Max, even though they've added a disclaimer about several things, including the way it depicts slavery? Anzo, this was originally your question, so I'm going to let you start with the 3 minutes. You ready?
No problem. Let's do it.
3 minutes on the board. Let's go now.
All right. So before I say anything, I got to be honest and say that I have never, ever seen Gone with the Wind. I have never seen it. I was never interested in seeing it. Just wasn't my type of movie. But at the same time, do I think it should be released, should be taken off of HBO Max or have a disclaimer? Absolutely not. It's a movie. This is what we go to movies for. It's entertainment. You know, not all movies are real life. You know, we have movies that are based on true stories, and we have movies that aren't based on true stories. So, me personally, I think you just let people do what they want to do. I mean, there's a lot of movies out there that people may find offensive as well. You know, Mississippi Burning was a movie that drove me crazy when I first seen it. You know, not just Mississippi Burning. There was, oh my gosh, the Denzel Washington movie where he played Stephen Biko. No, Stephen Biko. That movie drove me crazy as well too. So what are we gonna do? Take away those movies because they depict white people doing certain things to black people and slavery a different way? And we can't do that. That's a part of history. Whether it's fabricated type of history, there still is a history of white people owning black people as slaves. You know what I mean? So some of that stuff that they put in there is absolutely true. So to take a movie off because of it depicts slavery in a bad way or however it does, I mean, slavery is bad in general altogether. So let these people make their movies. You know, if you don't like it, if you don't find it offensive, like me, you don't have to watch it. That's not the reason why I never watched it, but I never watched it because it wasn't my type of movie. So I don't know, maybe I will go back and see what the argument is about. But usually when I do, when these things happen and there's an argument about, like there was an argument about that song, I went back and listened to them. Like, really? Like, come on now. People are way too sensitive. I find they need to just let things go. We need to let these people, our directors and screenwriters and all these people, get their vision across. Let them do what they want to do. And if you find offensive to it, then don't watch it. That's just simple and plain as that. So for me, I don't believe in having the disclaimer in front of the movie. I think it's just plain stupid. It already has its rating, right? The movie has already been rated, whatever was rated. So there's absolutely no need for a disclaimer whatsoever.
That's true. Need more time, or is that what you got to say?
No, that's it.
All right.
That's it.
Hey, Danny, do you mind if I go next?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So here's my thought process on Gone with the Wind. Hattie McDaniel was actually Mammy in that. So she played the, I guess you could call it the house servant. But those servants really existed. And if it wasn't for those servants, let's be honest, most children in plantations would have never learned anything because they were the ones that watched the children. The parents sure as hell didn't do it. But Hattie McDaniel was asked before she died, did she ever feel, one, like she was typecasted? Two, did she ever feel like the roles weren't worth her abilities? And she said no. She's like, somebody's got to play these roles. You're not going to put the wrong person in these roles. She says, I am a black female, and that's what the part was, and it was necessary to play those. She never felt like she was playing something that was racist or anything like that. She played the part, and she was the first African-American woman to win an Oscar, and it was for that movie. And if you take that movie away for that, what are you saying about that? That's still, I mean, even today with the Oscars the way they are, that's just unbelievable how hard that is to win for an African American. Even today, it's always talked about every year how it's just whitewashed and all that. Let's be honest, she did that back then. How hard was it then? And then I'm with you, Nzo. Disclaimers are stupid. Here, I always put it this way: everybody has to take sexual harassment videos at their work. If you work for a large company, they make you take watch a sexual harassment video. Say, yes, I understand all this. I always say this is ridiculous. Either you're going to do this or you are not going to do this. So this video is either, yes, I already know this and I don't do this, or hey, look, maybe it'll give me some new ideas on how I can sexually harass somebody. I always make fun of it like that because it's not like the video is going to change who you are. It's not going to change your opinion. If you're a racist and you watch Gone with the Wind, you are still going to be a racist. It's not going to change your mind and go like, oh my God, this is such a horrible depiction of slavery. If you're not a racist, you're going to watch it and it's going to be exactly what Nzo said, a movie. I understand with the times that it's one of those things that it's very difficult to talk about this type of stuff. But it is necessary to talk about it. But I don't think taking these things away from movies, from society, helps with it. I don't think if you think this is going to fix it, taking it off, if you think that's going to fix racial tension today, then you are not understanding what you're really fighting for. So I don't think it. I'm glad they made the decision to add the disclaimer. And if that's what they have to do to keep it on, then I agree with that. But I don't think they should take it off. So that's what I have to say. Before we get to you, Danny, I got a $5 super chat. They took it down on her birthday. Good job. Yeah. Hey, Mad Mardigan, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Yeah, they did. And then they put it back up, I think. I don't remember for sure. Make sure I didn't miss any other things. Nope. Okay. All right, Danny, 3 minutes on the board. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I agree with Nzo. I don't think they should take it down. And I'm going to say two main words, uncomfortable and privilege. You're not going to address anything as long as you're feeling comfortable. You're going to have to feel uncomfortable in order to spark that conversation, in order to say, okay, I can't run for this anymore. Let me hear what you got to say. And privilege is something that some of us, unfortunately, don't have, and some of us do have. And until we can get that on more equal ground, movies like this is going to bring that to the forefront and show just how far we are away from each other and just how close we come. And I think that the further away from each other greatly extends how close we become. It is my opinion, and only my opinion, that those who have aren't going to give freely to those who don't have unless they can see something or they can hear something, they can internalize that if they were in that position, they would want fair play as well. So movies like The Help, Mandingo, The Django Unchained, Roots, I'm a Star, The Time to Kill, all shows things that we as a society aren't comfortable with. So I think that these movies should be kept. They should be treasured. They should be shown to the next generation to say, like, look, this is how things used to be. But now you're in a position where you can change it, and only you can change it now because Generation X and baby boomers, they're dying out. And they got next, so to speak. So they're going to have to make this change, and those movies like that are going to be things that's going to show them how things used to be and things they shouldn't repeat. If you do the same thing over and over and over and expect a different response, and that is one definition of being insane. It's insane to think that we can keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expect a different response. So in order to do that, we're going to have to start teaching the younger generation, look, you can't judge a person by how they look. You're gonna judge a person by how they act, what they do, what they say, how they treat you. And these movies, especially Going with the Wind, which I watched one time because I was a little boy and I had to watch it at my grandma's house, and it was some cringe-worthy thing sometimes if you really are realist and focus on how things were portrayed. But also, it was necessary because that showed me that I didn't want to. I wouldn't want to be in that particular situation. I wouldn't want my loved one, my mom, my aunt, my sister to be in any kind of situation like that. Another one is The Butler. And sometimes people say that they laughing and giggling, but that was a mechanism that people back then that looked like me had to use to survive. Because if they buck up and say what they really want to say, then they might be in another predicament. If any of you watch Rosewood, then you know what I'm talking about. So I definitely think they should keep these movies and keep showing them and show how we should definitely be changing to something different and something new.
Absolutely. All right, 3 minutes on the board so we can discuss this together. You're absolutely right, Danny, about the way that it portrays and the cringeworthy moments in Gone with the Wind. Let's be honest. This was still made by a white movie industry, and it's very it glosses over the whole thing. It portrays several of the slaves as kind of stupid because that's kind of how they, I guess, thought that they were. The more we learn about slavery, the more we learn about who these people were, we do realize that there were a lot of very smart and educated people. Now, they did it, of course, against their masters' wishes. But like you guys said, this movie and movies like this, Kill a Mockingbird, things like that, all start conversation. And if you don't have a conversation starter, you can't move forward with anything. And I think that's the important thing. So, I mean,
I agree with you on that, Chris. And I hear a lot of people say, because I have several friends that are white in different races, and particularly my white friends get these conversations say, "Well, you can't blame us for that. That wasn't me. That was my ancestors." And I totally get that. Nobody is saying nobody today. I'm not saying that. I can only speak for me. But I'm just saying. And somebody told me this, and I'm going to say this. Everybody that looked like me is not my friend, and everybody that looks like Chris is not my enemy. I'm a firm believer in that. I judge people on how they look, how they treat me, how I want to be treated. If they black, white, blue, green, male, female, I don't care. If they come up to me and treat me with respect and cool, then I'm cool with it. Right here on the panel, none of us has met each other in real life.
no.
Just what we saw on YouTube, how we click, how we go along, how we talk, conversation we have off screen. So I'm cool with everybody. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about you gotta look like me. That's bull crap. As long as you talk to me and treat me the way I want to be treated, and I reciprocate the same thing to you, then I'm cool with it. It don't matter race, creed, sex, and none of that matters.
Same with me, man. I'm here in Montreal, and when I went to high school with Asians, I went to high school with whites, I went with Indians. We were all cool. There was no racism in our school whatsoever. White people hung with white people, black people hung with white people. You know, we hung with the Asians and everything like that. So my point is, it's all about character. It's all about who we are. You know what I mean? As a people. Now, this movie may be whatever has portraying black people stupid and stuff like that, but there were some educated black people back then. But we got to understand, a lot of us weren't. They wouldn't let us be educated, right? So they couldn't read, they couldn't write, couldn't do any of that. So whatever they depict in the movie, I don't know, maybe cringeworthy, and maybe something that like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. But just kind of some truth to it. So at the same time, we got to just sit there and take it for what it is. It's a movie, and learn from the mistakes that have happened in the past and move on. It's just simple as that.
Yes, indeed. So I'm just making sure I type to everybody here real quick, as I can't remember how to type all of a sudden. typing and talking. It's a thing I haven't learned yet. Yeah, absolutely. And that's no problem, guys. If you have to clean up your subscriptions and you might be unsubscribed to one of us, just check your subscriptions. Sometimes YouTube will kick people off of subscriptions. I put the link to Chaos Central in there. Please, guys, go check that out. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Trying to get that up to 100 subscribers. Let's spin the wheel for number 2 topic. This one is going to be... Do you think that Sam Raimi is the right fit for Doctor Strange 2, or do you think they should have looked for another director? Do you think that Sam Raimi is the right fit for Doctor Strange 2, or do you think they should have looked for another director? Let's move all this stuff around and put that in the chat. Danny, how about you go first this time? 3 minutes on the board and go.
Sam Raimi made Spider-Man movies, if I'm not correct. Evil Dead. He has had some successes in his career. I can't sit here and say definitively one way or the other. Is he wrong or right? Do I think he's wrong or right? I don't know. I'm cool with his Spider-Man movie. So if he is a student of Marvel or student of comic books, I can't say that I hate Spider-Man. He did Spider-Man, first Spider-Man. He did Spider-Man 3. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So if he keeps a formula like Spider-Man 1 and 2, then I'm cool with it. But if he kind of dips off into 3, then I don't know. But I think that Kevin Feige is going to he's going to keep his hands on the shoulder of any director that comes in there. And if they're doing something that's totally crazy, I think he's going to reel them in. But if he's doing something within the confines of the rules that he sets, then I think that Mr. Raimi will be all right, because Marvel is Mr. Feige's baby, and I don't think he's going to let nobody come in there and kill the baby, so to speak. You're going to go in there, nope, you need to do this, or I think we're looking for this vision, not that vision. I think we need to go this direction, not that direction. I think he's going to be a competent guy to keep whatever director within the confines of the vision that he set forth. So I think Mr. Raimi would be allowed to do some of his magic and bring some of his energy, I guess, into it. But it's going to be closely monitored, I believe, by Kevin Feige. So I really can't think of a movie that I just all out hate that Marvel made. Some I strongly dislike, like Thor 2. I strongly dislike Spider-Man. But other than those two, Spider-Man 3.
I knew what he was talking about there.
Other than those two, I really can't think of none that I really just say, okay, I ain't watching that shit no more. But
Guardians.
I don't think he's gonna miss. Yes. Guardians 2. I will never watch that again. But other than those 3, I can't say that he will allow Mr. Sam Raimi to come in there and just totally make a disaster of a movie for Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange 2 is, I think, one of the most anticipated movies coming out in this phase. So I don't think he's going to mess that up.
Absolutely. Nzo, 3 minutes on the board, and your time starts now.
Okay, great. So first off, I will say I'm absolutely excited to see Sam Raimi take on Doctor Strange 2. First, I will say that the first Doctor Strange was a great movie. I loved it. You know, there were a couple movies in the MCU universe, that when they came out, it was like, Marvel may not have been so sure if they were going to work. Guardians of the Galaxy was one of them. I think Doctor Strange was another one. But I was pleasantly surprised with Doctor Strange. I actually think it's in the top 10 of the movies, Marvel's movies, right? So I'm looking at the director for the first one, which is Scott Dickerson, and I was happy with what he did. So I wouldn't have mind to see him come back and direct it. But if he can't, I don't know if there's any reason. Maybe Marvel didn't want him to do it. I don't know. But Sam Raimi is definitely a good choice. I loved Spider-Man 1. I loved Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 3, not so much. But we know that Spider-Man 3 wasn't his fault. And when you hear what he actually wanted to do with Spider-Man 3, it's like, okay, I would have been down to see that more than what they actually put out, right? They forced him to put Venom in there. They forced him to do a lot of things that he wasn't really wanting to do. So when you do that, you're going to lose the passion for it. And I believe that's exactly what happened. He lost the passion for Spider-Man 3 and was just like, you know what? Fuck it. You guys want me to do this? I'm going to do this. And I'll do it. And whatever it is, right? Still one of the highest grossing Spider-Man movies, though.
It was up until the new ones. I think it was the highest grossing.
Up until the new ones, right? Exactly.
So, yeah.
So, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it's still higher than those ones. I think we have.
I have to go look at it.
Yeah, I'll check it out later and see if it was. But regardless, it still made money. You know what I mean? People still went to see it. Now, they may have went to see it because they were riding off of Spider-Man 2, which I actually think is better than Spider-Man 1. The way he did Doc Octopus and everything in that.
I mean, there's some awesome stuff in that one, yeah.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff in that one. So I'm like, hey, man, give him the reins to Doctor Strange 2. Like Danny said, Kevin Feige is going to let him know what he can do and what he can't do. May still give him free reign of the movie, but he will still let him know that, you know, he will still let him know that there's certain things that you can and cannot do in the movie, right? But at the same time, he'll let him do his vision. He'll let him take care of that and let him do what he wants to do. And he's not a bad director. You know, the movies that he's done, you know, other than Spider-Man 3 is really like trash. So I'm definitely excited for it. I want to see it. Can't wait to see what he does for Doctor Strange 2. And like Danny said, it's going to be a stepping stone to what's next in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Kevin Feige will make sure that he doesn't mess it up.
Yeah. All right.
Spider-Man Homecoming made more, and and Spider-Man Far From Home made more.
Yeah, but I think
made more?
I think Spider-Man 3 is the third highest. Right?
Those on. Yep.
Yeah. See,
okay.
So
well, Spider-Man, if you count Venom.
Yeah.
It's what?
It's the fourth highest if you count Venom.
If you count Venom.
Yeah. Now, Sam Raimi, I think he's going to be fine for it. I think that like Evil Dead, stuff like that, because we heard it was supposed to be more of a horror comedy thing, and I know that the original director left because he said they were taking too much of the horror out of it. That he thought, but Sam Raimi has a really good concept of how to do horror comedy. Plus, I mean, you're absolutely right, Anzo. He didn't want to put Venom in it. He wanted it to be Sandman, and I think if I remember, some of his interviews stated that he was willing to bring Harry in at the very end and introduce the Hobgoblin, but he didn't want to use him. So
I thought he wanted Craven.
I can't remember. It's been a while since I've watched those, because you're talking how many years ago now that Spider-Man 3 came out. I don't think he lost his want to do that film. I think he just was like, I can only do so much, so he made the absolute best film he could. The dancing scene is kind of but I think that was still his trying to be comedic. So it's that thing of he has a really good concept. Plus, let's be honest, guys, what was the first comic book movie that kicked off this comic book craze? Spider-Man. That's Sam Raimi. So everything after that point has taken something from what he did and what he showed. If you look at the way Spider-Man was originally done, the camera angles, the way that they did it, the lighting, the feel, the overall feel, let's make it kind of real world in some scenes where we know that we're either in this facsimile of New York or Chicago. They took that and they multiplied it and replicated it so many times now that his blueprint is what I think a lot of directors use today. Now, they don't they don't go and they do everything exactly like how he did. But John even mentioned in Spider-Man 2, the Doc Ock surgery scene. It was shot so perfectly. You don't see the carnage really, but you know what's going on. And the way that they took Doc Ock and literally made one of the best comic book villains probably out there, and really made it sympathetic. You felt for the guy, but you still knew he was a bad guy. That's done by the way that it's shot, the way that the scenes, because he's the one that determines, no, I don't like how you did those lines. Why don't we try this? He's the one that determines those things. An actor reads his lines, and then the director helps him bring across the vision that's in his head of what he's trying to go for. So everything you see in Spider-Man 1 and 2 for sure are him pulling the best efforts out of every one of those actors on screen. So he knows what he's doing. And I think he's going to be absolutely the right fit for it. 3 minutes more to talk about it, guys.
Nzo was right. He wanted Sandman and Vulture.
Yeah, okay, and then they went and did Vulture for one of the new ones.
Vulture. We were talking about this other night. Ben Kingsley was slated to do it, but then something happened.
That's right.
But you said Spider-Man, but didn't X-Men come out before Spider-Man?
Yes, it did. But what I mean, okay, so, and that was who was
X-Men kicked it off, to be honest.
Who was X-Men though? Who directed the X-Men series? John.
X-Men was Fox, no?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to remember who directed him.
Oh, who was the director? Oh, hold on, I'll tell you. Bryan Singer.
That's it, Bryan Singer. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, but I think they're two different styles of movies. I mean, but okay. So, but I would still say that Spider-Man and the X-Men series did form that roadmap, but they were very different, but they both gave roadmaps on how to do it right. Up until that time, Punisher. I'm trying to think of all the other ones that came out in the 80s. I mean, just nobody really went and flocked to those movies.
Yeah, nobody cared. But that's because, they were kind of corny. You know what I mean? First off, you're bringing Punisher out. Not too many people even knew who Punisher was at the time. So that wasn't going to fly. Comic book fans like us knew, but general population, who the hell's Punisher? So that
Punisher
wasn't going to fly.
Punisher came out when Dolph Lundgren was like at his height of his action star,
his career.
And plus, that only one person could be. It didn't call upon a lot of good writing and stuff because we done seen the formula for one man pissed off, he got a bunch of guns, he's gonna kill a bunch of people. So that's basically how they did the Punisher, which he is my least favorite out of all of them.
Yeah, Punisher. Especially that movie wasn't so great, I
mean, Dolph Lundgren. My favorite one is War Journal, but everybody sound crazy.
No, but I mean, yeah, but I'm just thinking, I think back on all of those comic book movies that were out there. I mean, I'll put it this way. I remember my first introduction in a movie to Thor was Adventures in Babysitting. Because it was such a minor thing, but they threw it in there. What was funny is that Christopher Columbus really liked Marvel Comics and really liked Thor, so they put him in there. And it amazes me because up until you get to X-Men and Spider-Man, there's just so many things. And then Blade, 14's right. Blade was out too. Blade was probably the first.
Blade was the first.
Batman was out. Batman came out in 89.
That's true. Yeah. But I think that the way we look at them now, the way that we see them now was X-Men. But we're talking about different. Okay, so here's the thing. What I was trying to say.
Superman really was the first. If you
the movies we watch today, the Marvel formula was first started with things like X-Men,
Spider-Man,
and Spider-Man, because those formulas were like, ooh, look, we can. Just the way it was real world enough. If you look at Blade is, I don't know. There's a lot of very supernatural elements to it. You could imagine maybe it's real, but
Blade didn't go off of the fact that it was a comic book movie. You know what I mean?
Didn't. Yeah,
you're right. So Blade was just like Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Before Blade, wasn't it The Crow?
The Crow.
That was around the same time too. But those are more. I always think of those more as more cult-like movies. They have their staunch supporters, which again, like Anza said, are comic book fans, or sometimes not, because a lot of people didn't like the way they did some of those things. They're like, this isn't even the same character or whatnot. But there was Spawn. I mean, there was other ones, But I'm talking about the formula we see day in and day out now. Was first started by X-Men and Spider-Man. All right.
That's crazy. Supergirl 84.
What was?
Supergirl.
Yeah. Oh, God, that was a horrible movie. All right, guys. Last topic. If the Snyder Cut... Really? Oh, my God. I'm so sorry, guys.
And I sent you my list, and you were like, oh, correction here, correction here.
Yeah, I didn't listen. I'm able to do that when I'm not reading it. You will never see your own mistakes. Trust me. When you're proofreading yourself, I tell people this all the time. Do not ever, and this is your tip of the day, guys, out there in the YouTube land, never proofread yourself, because you will never see it, because you'll still see what you typed.
Shoot. On my computer, there's this magical button called F7.
You know what, Danny? I know.
On my computer.
I know. Okay. If the Snyder Cut is a huge success, do you think that they will finally greenlight a Flashpoint movie? Because this is still a hotbed topic right now, guys. More and more people, seem to think they're going to do a Flashpoint movie if this goes the right way. Then we're hearing different things, like they're going to do the Batman series on HBO Max, and they're talking about a lot more series. So like HBO Max is going to start doing what Disney Plus is doing with Marvel. So now we're wondering if things like Michael Keaton and maybe Ben Affleck and a few other of them coming back to play their older character parts or whatever. We're wondering now, is it going to be TV stuff on HBO Max, or are we really still talking about the movie universe? But if the Snyder Cut is a huge success, do you think they will finally greenlight a Flashpoint movie? Who wants to start first, guys?
I'll go first.
I'll go. Okay.
All right, Danny will go first.
Okay, Danny will go first. Fair enough. 3 minutes on the board, Danny, and here we go.
I think if Zack Snyder Cut is a success, it is going to be the starting point of a lot of good things. I think that's going to bring positive energy to the DC family, to the DC franchise, and I think that fans will want more of what they see. I already believe strongly, and based on things I've read and heard, Henry Cavill will definitely come back as Superman if they give him opportunity. So I think a Man of Steel 2 will happen. I believe if Ben Affleck has gotten hold of some of his demons, what people said he had, and if he talks to Henry Cavill and they get on the same page, Henry Cavill and maybe Gal Gadot and maybe even got to play Jason Momoa. But look, man, let's give this another shot. Let's do whatever. And I think that if Ben Affleck comes back, I will definitely think that would be a recipe to future films, and one of those films being Flashpoint, because Flashpoint is kind of like their ace in the hole. If something goes crazy, something goes awry, they can do a Flashpoint and correct it and start off and go in a different direction or improve upon the direction that they're already going on. So I definitely think, and the Snyder Cut's going to be the linchpin. If it is successful, like everyone says it is, and I hope that it's successful, I really do. And I think that is going to allow them the ability to make up a lot of ground to Marvel. I don't think they're going to surpass Marvel, but I think that they'll be heading in the right direction, and that's going to make up some ground. Now, if they follow that up with a Man of Steel 2, Flashpoint, Batman 2, Aquaman 2, then lead to a Justice League or World's Finest, I think doggone Marvel is going to be sucking wind, because nobody knows how this Eternals is going to be. We hope that it's going to be good, but we're not certain. No one knows how this Shang-Chi is going to be. I mean, true people that read comic books know how it's going to be. We really don't. It's a lot of unknowns. So everybody knows Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Aquaman, Flash. So this crisis we in now it is a catalyst for a perfect storm that if they do things right, if things are successful, then I definitely think it can open up doors to those movies I just and that excites me, especially if Mr. Affleck decides to put the cowl back on. I will definitely be there to see that.
Cool. All right. 3 minutes on the board for you, Anzo. Let's get it reset here. All right. Ready?
Do it.
Let's go.
Yep. All right. So I definitely think that if the Snyder Cut is a success, then it will lead to bigger and better things for DC. And I also agree with Danny. Marvel's universe right now is at an unknown, right? I don't know much about Eternals. I don't know much about Shang-Chi. So their phase coming up, DC has a good chance to catch them. DC is smart. They put out a Man of Steel 2, Wonder Woman 2 is coming out. They bring out a Batman movie. I would prefer a Ben Affleck Bat movie, but that might not happen. But if they do those movies, they can actually catch Marvel. They won't pass them. They have a long way to go, but those movies can catch them. I mean, those movies can be billion-dollar movies. We don't know what Marvel's next phase is going to do. We don't know if any of those are going to be billion-dollar movies, just by the name anyways. I mean, Marvel, you're good for maybe a $500 million regardless, just because you have that Marvel name on it. But at the same time, you got Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam even, right? So you got 4 characters. Yes, Danny, Shazam.
What is your problem with Shazam, man?
That's what I'm saying, because, right, not only do we have Shazam, but you also have Black Adam coming into the mix. Hey, Shazam was profitable. Shazam
I'm not going to mess
money.
up your minute. I'll wait till my 3 minutes, bro.
No problem. I'm just saying, Shazam made money, right? So Shazam, then you're bringing The Rock as Black Adam into this mix too. So right then and there is maybe 5 movies that could possibly reach $1 billion, if not close to it. So you can definitely catch Marvel at this time in the phase that they're doing. Now, we all know Marvel's track record, right? Marvel can put out these movies and they're great, and then, they'll just skyrocket ahead. But everything depends on the Zack Snyder cut, because DC doesn't know where the hell they're going. We have 5 different Batmans. We have how many Jokers? So if they can get this one to be good, people to love it, the fans that hate it or the fans that want to hate it are going to watch it so that they can hate it. If we can turn those fans around, then we have the fans that are just going to like it regardless, because they're fans that are waiting for it. They don't care. It's going to be better than what we already got. So if we keep those fans, change the other fans, then Warner Brothers is going to say, okay, it was a hit. Maybe we can continue slowly with the universe that we were trying to build in the first case. Because I say it all the time. Not all Marvel movies were good. Not every movie in their phase were good. So DC just needs to keep the course, and they can absolutely catch up to Marvel. They'll never pass Marvel now, because Marvel's way into it, but they can definitely catch up.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go back here a ways, back when we were talking about Gone with the Wind, and John gave us $1.99 super chat. I'm so sorry, John. A couple dollars for Danny's wisdom. Thank you very much. Danny, John agrees with you. I don't know how often that happens, but okay.
John, blah.
Hey. Now, 3 minutes. Okay. Anzo's right. I think, and Danny's right. With the time they have right now, they have a chance to really stop and think. DC really has a chance to stop and think and do the one thing I've always said: figure out what direction you're going in. DC's always, Warner Brothers, more to the point, has been reactionary. Movie does bad, slam on the brakes, do a 180, turn left, turn right, do something other than stay the course. I understand staying the course doesn't always fix a problem, but what it does is at least says, hey, yeah, we know we screwed up. or that didn't work out the way we wanted to, but we still have a story. We still have a vision. We still have a direct line to where we were wanting to go. We started at A, we want to end up at, B. Marvel's done this. To Anzo's point, there have been multiple movies that have just not done great. They've been serviceable. They do well enough to say, look, this is a storyline where the storyline we're on, like for instance, in the first three phases of Marvel, the storyline was to get to Avengers Infinity War. And they constantly made references back to Thanos, to the Infinity Stones, and all of those different things, and different things were explained. But the movie itself was its own story, but the story that Marvel was telling to get to was still placed in there. And if it didn't turn out quite the way they wanted, they still went forward with that. They didn't stop and say, okay, well, let's stop and not talk about the Infinity Stones anymore. Let's go this way and do something completely different. That's what DC and Warner Brothers has done. Listen, just because people didn't like how you did Justice League, just because people didn't like the fact that you had Steppenwolf in there and we all thought we were going to get Darkseid. Originally, they told us it was going to be 2 movies. You still had an out. Oh, yeah, guys, we know this isn't the movie you wanted, but we're gonna get you the next Justice League down the line. And they could have done that. Now, would it have been bullshit? Possibly, but they could have done that. They didn't have to stop everything, let the actors go, or not give them any idea if they were going to be back or not. I mean, Henry Cavill, I think, has been guaranteed he's coming back. I think they still have Momoa and Gal Gadot still for one more movie or 2 more movies for Jason. And when I say that, I mean one more for Aquaman, but I think they have him for a team-up movie still. Now, granted, that's probably changed, but it's in the contract, if I remember right. And Gal Gadot, I think, was signed up for, I want to say 3 Wonder Woman movies, but I'm not positive about that. But those guys we know are still locked down. Ezra Miller supposedly, even with all this going on, has been locked down. The guy that played
Cyborg?
Yeah, what?
Ray.
Yeah, I think he was locked down for another movie somewhere. And then we know that Henry Cavill's back, and Ben Affleck's name is still floating out there. Who knows? 3 minutes on the board to talk about this together. I that's what I want. I'm a bigger DC guy, so I want them to get their act together and focus on where they're going and take the lumps like Marvel has. Iron Man 3, Dark World, I don't know what else. Even Ant-Man. I liked Ant-Man, but it wasn't the greatest. Ant-Man 2. They're not the greatest movies, but I liked them. They're serviceable movies that get their point across, and they still carry on that main storyline somewhere. If DC just understands, listen, you're not going to be putting out $1 billion movie every movie you put out. I mean, the fact that they looked at the numbers for Batman versus Superman and said, "Oh my, this isn't good enough." It's like, did they make $1 billion finally?
I don't think they did, but they were close to it.
Yeah, you see, it's like, why do you care about that number? Because they're doing the wrong thing. They're watching Marvel and saying we have to do what Marvel's doing. If they worry about themselves and stop worrying about Marvel, I think they'll get a lot better. And they got to find somebody, and we've talked about this 1,000 times, they got to find somebody like Kevin Feige to come in and say, boom, this is how we're going to do it. Shut up. Don't worry about them. Marvel doesn't exist. We're DC. We're not Marvel. We're DC. We're going to tell our stories. We're going to tell it the way we want to, and we're going to get to our point.
The reason why I laugh so much when y'all bring up Shazam, I'm going to call you these numbers out. $1 billion, Aquaman.
Which I think so.
872 million, Batman v Superman. 821, Wonder Woman. 668, Man of Steel. 657, Justice League, who we all think is crap. And Shazam made $360 million.
It's a dark.
That's why I laugh.
But what was Shazam's budget though?
$100 million.
Right.
It made
so it
made 3 times its amount. I think the thing about Shazam is that it was not a well-known character. Most people don't even know that is the original Captain Marvel.
What?
Yeah.
Everybody know who Shazam is, bro.
No. Okay. What I mean is in the movie world. That was a very comic book. It was a comic book person movie. Just saying. I think
even in our times, in the 70s, there was a Shazam show on TV, a Spider-Man show on TV. In the 70s now, in the 60s, there was a Shazam show. Shazam and Batman are the two oldest ones out.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
That's just my opinion on the Shazam thing. I don't think it was worth his money. Now, do I think The Rock is going to breathe new life into it and it's going to get good? Hell yeah. I'm ready to see that.
I honestly,
Shazam, I don't even put that.
Why do movie companies look at the numbers?
You're going to have to look at numbers because that's what you got to do to compete.
No. I'm going to prove a point here. They've already greenlit the second Shazam. They've already got the line of stories to go with Shazam's story going. Black Adam, all that stuff's going to go into that. And the problem here is what I just said. Justice League was higher grossing than that, and they've scrapped the idea of the Justice League. So if they're looking at money, they obviously think there's something better in Shazam than there was in.
Yeah, they do. The Rock. The only reason why they're considering in Shazam 2 is because The Rock has been dead set on doing that movie for the past 10 years, and now it looks like it's finally going to come to fruition. That's the only reason.
Yeah, but they don't have to. No, go ahead, Danny.
If Dwayne Johnson was not involved in that, they would not greenlit another Shazam. I guarantee you. Because the guy that plays Shazam is not strong enough to carry it. He is not.
I don't know. I like. Go ahead.
Isn't The Rock going to be in his own solo movie? It's not confirmed that he's going to be.
Yeah, but I mean, he's going to be attached to that. When you think of Black Adam, you think Shazam and vice versa. Just like
Batman. He's going to have his own movie. It's not confirmed that he's going to have anything to do with Shazam.
It's speculative rumor right now that he's going to make an appearance in Shazam 2.
Y'all know that's going to. You know they're going to connect.
Not that's not what we're saying. We're saying that it's speculative rumor that he's going to be in Shazam 2. Yes, the two series can connect. Okay. But the thing is
let's ask this hypothetical question. If The Rock wasn't involved in this, no shape, form, or fashion, do you think we would see a Shazam 2?
Yes. Yeah. They already greenlit it before he was even attached to the program. It's attached to
Absolutely. He's right. It was already confirmed, like right after Shazam came out.
I need to see that because I don't believe it.
Hold on. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna look this up.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I mean, Black Adam is gonna be great to see. You know, I can't wait to see that too. But I mean, Shazam was still profitable. It only was 100 million to make, made 300 million. Batman vs Superman cost 300 million to make alone. So as long as it's profitable, it doesn't matter what as long as if it didn't make any money, then no, absolutely not. We wouldn't see a Shazam 2. But it made some money. So
on November 14th of 2019, he announced that he was Black Adam, and of course his production company is gonna have all sorts of stuff to do with that. We know that.
They might have. I'll give it to you. They might say that. I'm not telling you.
Here's the thing. Okay, so this is going to be tricky. They announced the sequel on November 4th. Or no. Hold on. Whoa, no. I'm sorry. Hold on. I have to look. Oh God, come on! All these damn ads and stuff. June. Oh shoot! No. Hold on. I gotta find.
Bro. It might say that, but I'm here to tell you. That's just like when Kevin Feige got that call from Mr. Ali. He wasn't going out looking for Mr. Ali, but he found out, damn, this is a Oscar-winning actor, and what's that going to say to Marvel if I hire him?
They had stories back in August of 2019 talking about Shazam 2. And when DC released their full lineup of movies coming out, which has changed somewhat. They had you just said, I keep on forgetting, Cyborg. They had Cyborg on that. Black Adam was on that. Shazam 2 was on it. They had the Flash. They just didn't. They said the Flash movie. They didn't say what. That's on there, and that's constantly been pushed back. Shazam 2 is the one thing. Shazam was their way of backing off without changing everything. It was like, let's get away from these characters that we screwed up in Justice League, and let's talk something else. Let's get everybody off the minds of that. It doesn't really matter. I still think that they would have done Shazam too. Shazam is not, put it this way, of Shazam and Aquaman, I'll watch Shazam every time. I hate Aquaman in general. It looks good. The storyline is decent. It's just, I don't like the way it's acted. I don't like the way it feels. It's like it's so separate from everything else. At least Wonder Woman connects back to the storyline that they have. Shazam kind of connects back because they have parts of Batman in it, and like the talk about Batman and the Flash and other things in it. They're talking about the Justice League in it because of the papers and stuff. But Aquaman is in and of itself, besides the fact that he's in this like seaside town at the very beginning, it's its own thing. It's like nowhere near connected. And I don't know. I just, there's just some parts of that I just can't watch. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just, I'm not a big Aquaman fan when it comes to that movie. I think they got the right guy to do it. Don't get me wrong. It would have sucked if it was anybody else other than Jason Momoa. It's light years ahead of what any other Aquaman movie would have ever been. I mean, if you're talking about weakest characters you could put on there, Aquaman's one of them, and they made a movie that works. I will give them that. But I still like Shazam better, maybe because it's kind of a dark comedy. I think it also took it a different direction. What we know of comic book movies. I don't know if we've ever seen something quite like that. I don't know. I just think if we're talking that, but let's go back to the theory though here of DC getting back on track. I think Danny, you're right when you said the whole COVID-19 thing going on right now is DC and Warner Brothers' chance to really laser focus on how to fix these parts. And they've given themselves, or AT&T, let's be honest, AT&T, which oversees all of it, has given them the opportunity to, one, please the fans by giving the Snyder Cut a chance, but two, if DC and Warner Brothers have a little bit of a hand in it, they can at least say, okay, how can we use this opportunity to right what we thought was wrong and get this ship back on board or on the right track? And like you said, Danny, lots of time right now to be thinking about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
100%.
And I hope they do. I agree with you, Nzo. I don't think. What?
I hope all comic book movies are good, but
yeah,
some of them ain't. And I just think out of that list I gave you, in my mind, it's a tie between Justice League and Shazam. The least ones I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree with your Justice League pick. I can definitely agree with that. And I will say I think Aquaman was a little bit better than Shazam, but to me, Aquaman felt a lot like a Marvel movie. That was my issue. I don't want my.
It doesn't fit in
I just
DC.
thought that the special effects on Aquaman was just fantastic to me.
They were.
I didn't see anything that looked like, oh, that don't look right. I mean, even when they was in the little bubble in the water, when they're swimming in the water, the telepathy part, when they was in the deep fighting those fish things, all that stuff looked realistic to me.
There's parts of it that I think are amazing. I don't know. There's just something about it. It's a personal choice. I'm not saying it's a horrible movie. I just said it's a personal choice. It's like Thor: The Dark World. You either like it or you're like, yeah. You know.
Thor is my least favorite Avenger.
See, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying, though. It's
I mean, his movies are not.
Well,
not
that's what I'm saying.
But
it's the same thing with me with Aquaman. I'm like, I'll watch it. If I had a choice between which one to watch over again, which I've only watched both of them once. That's it. I would watch Shazam before I'd watch Aquaman. That's just my personal choice.
I only watched both of them once too, to be honest with you. So
yeah, I mean, DC just has. Like I said, I'm a bigger DC fan than I am a Marvel fan. Marvel just has figured out a formula that makes you want to go watch them. But what Nzo said is absolutely true. I don't think DC will pass Marvel. I don't even think if Marvel falls and fails a little bit that they're going to pass them. But I think that they can get on par because they're two separate styles of movie. DC is willing to do R-rated, and Marvel with Disney is not. And I'm sorry, Disney needs to get off their high horse and admit if we're going to do these movies correctly, some of them are going to have to be R-rated. You know, when you came out with Venom, when they came out with Venom, and now you're trying to attach that to the Disney universe, which very possibly here soon, I've heard Sony might be selling. And if Sony does sell, that means Venom becomes Disney's. And if you like what Sony did with Venom, then you better hope Disney gets something figured out with R-rated movies. Which is funny because Disney had Buena Vista.
I think Disney should do an R-rated division, but I got a good friend of mine who says otherwise, and I can respect his opinion. There's some movies I think it's kind of like a safety net, because if you want to put something in there that may be a little adult, then you can do it if it's rated R. But it's neither here nor there. I don't care whether it's rated R, PG, PG 13, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, PG 65. I don't give a damn. If it's something I want to go see, rating really doesn't matter. Just the quality of the movie and what the movie is going to tell me is what I'm interested in.
Sure, but I'm saying,
but Disney. And one last point: Disney is not going rated R no time soon. If they ain't giving up their money, and they're not going to get nothing in China if they get a rated R, and that ain't going to happen. So you can forget any rated R movies coming out of Disney.
And I'll agree with you something. Even with DC going more darker, it's easier for them to fit an R-rated movie into their universe than it would be for Marvel. So, I'd be down for them to do some R-rated movies.
I wish Disney, whoever does their animated, the dark animation, I wish they would do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You see, live action. I wouldn't mind that at all. Animation, they are leaps and bounds ahead of Marvel.
I'm not talking that Marvel has to do R-rated movies. I'm just saying there's certain movies that I don't think come across the same way without an R rating. I don't think Deadpool. I mean, maybe Deadpool could be a PG-13. I just don't think it would work the same. There's some really crude stuff going on in there, but that's Deadpool's character. And so, while you're right, the movie is most important. The way that it comes across and all that is true. That's absolutely true. But there are some things that you want to see in these movies that the Motion Picture Ratings Association of America, the MPRAA, whatever the hell their acronym is, there's certain things they're just not going to let go. They're not going to let you show certain things. They're not. I
agree with you on that to a certain extent.
Disney. But here's the thing: you say Disney will never do an R-rated movie. The first R-rated movie they ever had was back in the '80s, and it was called Down and Out in Beverly Hills. They've done it before. They can do it again, and people don't give a crap. If they get the movie they want, they'll let it go. Disney's just too worried about this stupid. Disney's too worried about having one image and not allowing it to go the other way.
I agree with you, but there are some people that says, besides Image Comics, there is no other comic book that has rated R material. Me not being a comic book professor, I only read the ones that I like, ones that grab my attention. I can't say that. So based on that information.
Well, no, I mean, you're right, Danny. Of the two, I'm fine with the way Marvel does things and not being rated R. I understand that, but I'm saying if you are a fan of the Sony R-rated stuff, or I guess it's just Venom right now. If you're a fan of that, I think Morbius is also going to be R-rated, but I'm not positive. That hasn't, of course, been canned or whatnot. But if you like that stuff, understand within the next 2 years, Sony's going to sell. It's getting talked about more and more in the pipeline, and as soon as they sell, those rights revert back to Disney and Marvel. And when that happens, if you like those movies, understand you're not going to get that movie. Same thing with Deadpool. If they do a Deadpool 3, I really don't think they're going to do rated R. And with you, Danny, I don't think they're going to.
And I mean, they'll water it down to whatever they need to.
Depending on who's in charge of it, they might push that envelope as far as they can, but they will not go for rated R. But you're
Disney
right.
will not.
Yeah. Danny, you're right about DC, though. DC's universe can accept R-rated more than Marvel's can.
I agree.
And it's always been, and I'm talking comic book. I'm talking about.
But DC they gotta decide one or two things.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to catch Marvel financially, or do we want to get the fans? Because if they try to catch them financially, they will not do it in a rated R because they're going to lose too much money in China. So they're going to have to find out, do we want the fans or do we want the money? If they want the money, they're going to have to PG.
Yeah, but
because
Joker was $1 billion. It wasn't in China. So it's possible to be done. It all depends on how good the movie is.
I think that's an exception to the rule. Nobody saw Joker coming. No critic that I'm aware of said, yeah, that's going to be $1 million movie. But most of the times when we talk about Marvel movies, we already say they're going to get $500 million out the gate just because they got the Marvel logo on it.
I agree with that, but it still made $1 billion without China.
I know what you're saying.
My point is
that's
a
an
DC
anomaly.
movie.
Okay, name another.
Yeah, but a DC movie can do it though. This is what I'm saying.
Name another DC movie that did that.
I'm not saying there was one. What I'm trying to tell you, just because it happened doesn't mean it can't happen again. Doesn't have to be.
That's true, but I'm saying,
doesn't mean an R-rated movie is not going to make $1 billion.
I understand that point, but the other side of the coin, and my point is that the Joker was an anomaly. If I see it happen again or a third time, then I'd be like, okay, you're right. But right now,
maybe because we haven't had any R-rated really Marvel movies or DC movies to compare it with. Right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if we get a R-rated Superman and it's a great movie, there's a possibility that it could still make $1 billion without China. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it won't. I'm saying there's a possibility that it will.
They get a chance right now because right now we thirsting for anything. So the first movie, DC superhero movie or first Marvel movie come out, it's probably going to make $1 billion or close to it. All I'm saying is based on history, the past history of movies, DC movies, the Joker was the first one that did it. So right now, at this particular date and time, it is an anomaly. It is a fluke.
Okay, but name me another Marvel R-rated movie though, or DC movie other than Deadpool, because Deadpool is a little bit different. It's not really part of the universe.
Deadpool was Fox.
So name me another R-rated movie to compare it to.
What? Joker?
To Joker.
That's my point. That's my point.
Right. So we can't say it's an anomaly when we have nothing to compare it to. We don't have any other R-rated Marvel DC movie to compare it to. This is my point.
If you okay, let me give you an example. If you have 10 black children in your family, and your brother has 10 black children, and then your sister has an albino, and she got 9 other children, that albino is going to be called an anomaly because normally you will produce a black child, but something happened, something in nature, and the person and your child came an anomaly.
Okay,
came as an albino.
That comparison can't work, bro, because you're talking about children. I'm talking about R-rated movies, right? So this is my point. If we have Blade and Logan didn't make it. Yes, Blade was how long ago? Logan, I could have made $1 billion. That was a good movie. It didn't. So we do have a few movies that to compare to. But again, if you keep the course, doesn't mean it's not going to do it. This is my point. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying we don't know. We don't know.
And Danny, what are you?
We saying the same thing, and Nzo, we saying the same thing. You just in a different way.
What is you saying? What are you saying though?
I'm just saying that the fact that the Joker made $1 billion without going to China so far in this point in time is an anomaly. I'm not saying it's not going to happen again.
Anomaly. I'm totally with you, but there's a reason why it's an anomaly. They backed it off of being a superhero movie. Comic book movie. It is an Elseworlds movie. Therefore, the way they told the story and the way it came across was not comic book. I mean, listen, you could have taken any other name and put it on that movie that could have, crazed lunatic.
We all saying the same thing.
I know, and that's the thing.
Ways.
I totally,
we're all saying the same thing.
I agree with what you're saying. Now,
if it happens again, I will be like, okay, Nzo, it happened. It's not an anomaly.
If
it only happened one time out of the whole time in history, that is the definition of anomaly. That's what I'm saying. At this particular point, if it does it again, if they make another movie that makes $1 billion, don't go to China, I'd be like, damn, Nzo, you're right. It's not an anomaly. They got something here. But right now, if it only happened one time, that is the definition of an anomaly. That's all I'm saying.
No. Actually, the definition of an anomaly would be if we had 2 movies and one.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's not an anomaly yet.
Exactly. That was my point.
Does Joker get a sequel?
That was my point.
Is Joker getting a sequel?
I don't doubt it. I don't think so.
Okay, then we don't know unless they do another movie like this. Like, for instance, when we talk about the Thomas Wayne Batman movie, if they were to do that, that would be on the same lines of Joker. If that one came out and it made $1 billion, then you could say, listen, this is something that they've got going on.
Okay.
I mean, yes, Danny, you're not absolutely wrong. It's just to know that it's an anomaly, you have to have another thing to back it up with. You have to say, listen, this movie and this movie, what happened? This one did 500,000 or 500 million. This one did $1 billion. Why? And you're right. That R-rated movie is going to stay out of China, which again is why Disney won't do it. Yeah, no, Danny, Robert, you're right. Yes, Danny's right about but I'm talking on the DC side. You're bringing up Marvel stuff, or you're bringing up, and Joker again is not a comic book movie at heart.
Right.
I mean, again, I've been through this. I don't want to call it an argument. I've been through this topic before.
To me, Joker was a movie that was a script that was made like, let's say, just a movie about a dude on depression, but they knew it would make more money by making it a Joker movie. So it's not the typical superhero movie, R-rated superhero movie.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not even a superhero movie. Joker's a villain, 1. 2, he's not Joker in that movie. He is, again, a person who loses it, and they happen to throw in Thomas Wayne and Thomas and Martha Wayne and Bruce Wayne, and the screen time that those characters have. And again, did you have to have that in there? No, you don't have to. I mean, I guess the only way that makes sense is the fact that Thomas Wayne, his mom thinks is his dad. But again, I just, it's not your standard typical comic book movie.
I agree. You see the private chat?
Yeah. Okay. So with that said, guys, hour and 13 minutes in. Normally we go about an hour. We went on this topic quite a bit. And Robert, I understand that you're talking R-rated movies and Deadpool 2, things like that. Logan's the only one I'll give you. I guess you could go with Logan kind of, because it isn't your standard typical comic book movie. And it's kind of like
what I said. That's what I said. I would agree with Logan. Not Deadpool movies. No. I wouldn't agree with those two.
No. So, I mean, Logan, if you put those two together, why did it? I don't know. Again, I think it more is the point that it was not absolutely rooted in the comic book world, and maybe
like what 14 Barber says. Truth is, it's possible for big money to come out of R-rated movies, but the main reason why Joker made $1 billion was because it was a piece of cinema, not a comic book movie. Absolutely correct.
That's what I think too. And again, Robert, Danny, it's an opinion.
Oh, I'm cool with it, bro.
I don't know. So,
at the end of the day, this is fake stuff, man.
It's not real fucking life.
Exactly. That's why we have a good time, guys. That's why we have a good time, because we're able to walk past it Anzo, you need to send me that damn outro so I can stop playing this one. I'm gonna have to play this one today though. But guys,
I was hoping to get some down that Ben Roethlisberger question.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna leave it on. I'm gonna leave it on there because I'm leaving the ones we don't do. I'm leaving on there, adding 3 to it. Because right now,
I'm done with that question.
Okay, fine, I'll take it off. Just because.
No, y'all can do it.
Okay,
I'm gonna be 30 seconds.
So, guys, here's the deal, guys. Let's go around. You guys tell everybody where they can find you and all that fun stuff. Anzo, go ahead and start.
Yes, sir. You can find me Biggaford Entertainment. Catch me on the Rule of 3, Chaotic Conversation, and the Chaos List. All those 3 channels. I'm here with all those 3 shows. I'm here with Danny and Chris. I also have Equilibrium coming up at 5 o'clock with Danny, Terrence, and John. Also have Storms Live, which we do nightly with Mr. Robert Storms. You guys can check that one out too. And on Saturdays, we do a sports show called Square One. Would really like you guys to come and check out all of these shows because I think we're trying to put up some good content. So thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Peace.
All right, Danny, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
I'm going to echo and piggyback everything Anzo said. We're trying to build something here on the Chaos Central channel. Also, we're trying to build up our sports show, Square One on Saturdays from 4 to 6. So please, if you can join us, all these shows, man, we're going to try to just give you good content, try to make you think, get into some heated conversations, but nothing ever personal. Just trying to get laughs also, and just want to express ourselves as best we can. So please sub to all our channels. I'm Comment Chat, Nzo and chrisknight. Please give us a thumbs up on all our content. And please hit the notification bell because we don't want you to miss any of our material that we upload in the future.
Yes, indeed. Guys, go ahead.
No, I just said absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, guys, do me a favor. Go over to Chaos Central and sub to that. Let's see here. Let me get this link up. I'm going to copy this again, guys. It's really, really important to us that you go over there and sub to that because with 100 subs, and I know this might sound, vain or whatever, with 100 subs, we get what they call a vanity title, which is putting your channel name after youtube.com. So like here, it's youtube.com/The Real Review 3000. Anzo, are you at 100 subscribers yet?
Not yet. Almost.
Oh my God, guys, people, go over to his channel and sub to him already. Come on.
Danny, I need like 18 or something more.
18 more, guys. Pass the word along. Understand, if you were already
subbed. It costs you nothing to sub, man. Nothing.
If you were already subbed, go and tell other people about this because the people you know are probably interested in much the same things that you are. Therefore, and it doesn't hurt to say, guys, hey, there's this cool show or there's these cool shows I watch. Why don't you go watch them? Danny, do you have a vanity title yet? I'm not sure if you do, but I'll show you how to do that. But the vanity title just makes it really simple because then you don't get all these, like you see on the link that I just sent there. You don't get all these, W's and U's and C's and G's and X's and numbers and all that. It is really simple. Yeah, and it makes it much easier to get found. And once we're there, we are simulcasting these guys. So it's on our channels and over there because it doesn't hurt to just spread it through as many mediums as we can. Sub, guys. That's what we ask. So with everything being said there, go ahead, Danny.
Tomorrow night, it'll be movies from 2006. 5
That's
favorite movies from 2006.
That is the Chaos Conversation on Mondays, every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Chaos List over on Anzo's channel. That's Biggaford Entertainment. That is the Chaos List. That happens every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the Rule of 3 is every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So all the information for all of this, the Chaos Central link, and Danny and Anzo's links are down in the description box. I try to have that out every time so you guys know where to find us. Guys, help us out. Spread that word. Thank you very much, everybody, for showing up today. And with that said, guys, I am chrisknight. That's Anzo. That's Danny. And we are officially out of here. Say bye, everyone.
Peace.